Good afternoon and welcome. I am Flatcap Callum. It is Thursday the 4th of August and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. I am here, I am back, couple of days sabbatical, doing family stuff. Originally I said I was going to be back Friday, then I changed it, come back this afternoon because I was looking ahead and yeah, sure enough, tonight is a bit of a cracker. There's some great racing at Leopardstown and some really good stuff in the racing series in Doncaster tonight. So Doncaster, Leopardstown, one horse at Sandown for today's bets. £25 I've got it as. It's a stake and a quarter again, same as Monday. So we had stake and a quarter Monday, nothing Tuesday and Wednesday. Back with a stake and a quarter. Outlook for the next few days doesn't look great tomorrow. I think probably below a standard for Friday. Then Saturday I think is going to be a bit mixed. It's Shergar Cup, which is fine as a spectacle. I think it's good entertainment. From a betting point of view, it's not always the best. So we'll see how we get on there. So yeah, Shergar Cup on Saturday. And then Sunday, it's the Sunday series. So it looks like an okay Sunday's going to be there as well. So it's some interesting racing. Friday, I think below standard. Saturday, average for a Saturday, I think. Sunday probably slightly better than average. And then as far as videos next week, I'm gonna put together a plan and I'll update on Saturday about next week because I'm not going to do videos every day next week again. I'm expecting the week after I probably will, but next week it will be a bit of a mixed picture. All right, so what have we got? We've got to do the review of Monday quickly before I get into Thursday's bet. So Monday, if you recall your minds back then, was our start of the week, start of the month. We did 25. I got it as 23.36 back, so I've got it as a small loss. But I had that down as Bet365 would have come out ahead definitely. So it sorts through. So the first one we had was this Scalor, a bit disappointing. Grin was out the back a long way, but then was really getting going towards the end, and then got massively hampered by a faller, and that was its race over. College Causeway was a massive disappointment. And Kodiak Prince, I don't do it often. I don't often like to put one horse in two different main bets. I did it on Monday, but thankfully it worked again. Got a nice little record of that. So 5:20 Nace, Kodiak Prince scooshed up that race. I think the SP was about 20-1, but widely available at 28s in the morning. So the channel only had it as 22s. SP was 20s, but I'm imagining most people who put it on in the morning on Monday would have got 25 to 28 to 1 on that. So nice little return on that. And then bet 2. So we had Eleuthera snagged 6th place, which I think was only good for a couple of bookies. So that one started us off. And then we've got Kodiak Prince winning here, so it only ended up being a place double with the additional single on Kodiak Prince. So there was quite a bit stacked on Kodiak Prince, and that kind of saved us because then the 6:25 Windsor, those two were nowhere near. That was massively disappointing. Looked like a good opportunity to try and get a place treble, but no chance. So yeah, I think if you 365'd it, I think you came out ahead. Of where you would have done with Sky because of prices, because Eleuthera SP'd at 16 as well. So that was bet 2, and then bet 3. This wasn't much going on here. We first two didn't make it. Overhaul Street then placed at 25s, and again, if you'd done bet 365, you got best price guaranteed. You'd have come out better. And then Pockley was a non-runner, so it was a place single with a non-runner back on there. So as I said, for channel stats, 25 on, 23.63 back, 23.36 back, sorry, 23.36 back. But I know at least one of you messaged to say that you actually came out 15 or 14% ahead. So yeah, so either way, no one should have lost a lot. Some of you might have made a few quid. I will mention as well the golf as well after I've done today's bets. So today's bets. It's always a bit trickier when you're kind of doing it mid-afternoon because I'm looking at. I did a bit of research last night, put some bits together, and those of you who were eagle-eyed will have seen on Monday's video I added a comment last night with 4 horses that I thought were the best value for today. So I didn't say it wasn't a channel bet, so I haven't put it out as a bet, but I did put on a comment about 9 o'clock last night with 4 prices I liked. 2 of them have massively come in. One's about the same and one's a bit drifty. So I haven't put all of those 4 in the same bets for the channel. I have covered them all in bets on the channel though. So I'll flag when we get to those. But yeah, I put 4 out last night. I've got 12 tonight in total. So picking the horses wasn't so hard. Some of the values come in, so there was more on my shortlist I was going to originally include on today's video, but as the case as the day's gone on, there's a couple that I've just taken out because I think the value's gone completely, and a couple of board lines I've kept. So yeah, it's more about the challenge was putting them together. So I've got 2 main bets and a little bit of an extra bet that I didn't horse I didn't want to leave out. So this is bet 1, one of the main 2 bets. So Lucky 15. 4 horses, and we've got them as the standard Lucky 15 bet 20p each way on the channel, and then 50p each way singles on all 4 and an additional double. So 5.15 Leopardstown, not for a long time, is 33 to 1. That was one I put out last night, and the price as held, slightly better price with bet 365. But with this bet, I would put it on with Sky because you're getting an extra place in all 3 Leopardstown races. So I think that for me outweighs the prices. The prices are better on Bet365, but I would rather take the extra place for some of these. So overall, together, I would say it's a Sky bet for bet 1. But yeah, really happy that price has held. Not for a long time, so that's 33 to 1. And then in with the Leopardstown ones, I've put 1 Doncaster, so I've put in there 5.40 Antagonise at 18s. Then we've got 7.20 Leopardstown. That's the one I put up last night. It's actually drifted a bit, and you could get bigger in places. So I really, as you know, don't worry about the fact it drifts. I'm more excited because it's got a better price. Because ultimately, what I'm trying to do here is beat the market. So I'm looking through all of these races, and I'm working out where I think the value is and comparing it to the market. And if the prices gets bigger, just makes me happy. Welcoming 40 to 1, and then we finished off 7.50. So I put a different horse up in this race last night, which is going to be in another bet, but this is now my main horse for the race. It wasn't last night at the prices. I had a short list of 3. I put one up on the channel that I thought was the best one at prices. I've ditched one completely. The other one's in another bet. This is now my number 1 horse for that race on prices, and it is really. I know this is different in mindset from how some people think, because some people think their number 1 horse is the horse with the most chance of winning. That is not how I think. I used to think like that quite a long time ago, but how I think about it is it's my number 1 horse because it's the price is the biggest difference between what I think it should be and what the price is. And for this horse, I'd have that 12 to 1. So 25s it's now my number 1 horse out on Friday, 25 to 1. So as I said, singles on all of them at 50p's. The 20p each way Lucky 15. We've got the additional double on the 2 biggies that have held at least from last night to a 35p each way double. So clearly there's some big prices playing with. The betting market says none of these will get close. I say I think they'll do better than the price. We'll see how we get on. But as you know, it can go wrong really quickly. But with these prices, it can start looking really right really quickly too. So that's bet 1. Bet 2, I've done it as a Lucky 31 on some of the racing series stuff. So I've basically not done anything on the 2-year-old nursery handicap, and I've obviously put one out in the Leopardstown bet, and then these are my best 3 for the others. So I've done it as a Lucky 31. 6.10, we're going Star Sheba. It was 14s. It was 16s, and then I put the bet and it changed to 14s whilst the bet was being placed. So 14s on Star Sheba. 7.10 Sound of Iona, 12s. 7.40, I put that up last night, all be gone. It was 25s last night, 16s now. It's still got value in that price. So I've put it in. 8.10 Emirati Hero 10s, and then this one's just been nibbled in really in the last sort of half an hour into 7s. It was 10 to 1 about 1 o'clock still into 7s. Just happy enough. It's borderline now, but in terms of this bet, it's staying. So it's a 15p each way Lucky 31, and then 2 50p each way doubles. So I'm hoping this makes sense. So double 1 is A, which is Star Sheba and All Be Gone. That is double 1, and double B is Emirati Hero and Bowling Joan. So those are the two doubles, two extra doubles. So it's £9.30 for the lucky 31, and then an extra £1 each for each double makes it £11.30. So double 1 has got an A next to it, double 2 has got a B next to it. If you listen without sound, it does make it tricky. And you wouldn't even hear me say that anyway. So more for you, put the sound on. And I appreciate some of you might be watching it in some sort of office toilet. Actually, I don't want you to think. I don't want to think about anyone watching me in an office toilet. I'm moving on. Right, that's bet 2. That's before I get myself in some deep trouble. All right, and then bet 3 is the kind of didn't want to leave it out. So originally I had kind of 3 bets that were sort of equal value, and then I've shifted around stakes, shifted around horses, and I've now got 2 main bets and 1 didn't want to leave out bet. So this is what's left over. The 6:36 Sandown. It's a really, really good race to have a bet on in terms of value. I didn't want to go overboard on the channel today because I think, in theory, you've got 2 at the top of the market who look really, really decent, and then you're playing for a value 3rd place in theory. Now, one of the ones that hasn't run could even be so good it upsets one of the front 2. It's really, really tricky to try and work out. I mean, there's an obvious horse in terms of there's another Godolphin horse in there that looks on paper it's a £900,000 buy out of Frankel. You'd think on theory that looks like it's going to be the next best, but the one I've gone for at the price, it's the rank outside. I think you can still get 125 each way on Bet365. I've gone for New Dayrell. From a breeding perspective, it looks pretty decent. It's a full brother to a really decent standard horse that was second first time out, won second time out. The dam won first time out, so it's got some good trend in there from that point of view. It's not from a stable that necessarily does massively well with 2-year-olds. And I was looking, Kieran Fallon's riding it, and he hasn't ridden a 2-year-old for the stable before. So yeah, on balance, I mean, I'd have a whole shortlist, and off the channel I might well be having a few punts on different ones of these and mixing it up with some of the Leopardstown races. But as far as channel goes, I'm just going to stick with New Dayrell and have a go with that. Then 710, we followed it a few times. Last time it was non-runner. Give it one last blinking go, Pockley in there. So I've got a number 1 horse, so it's my number 2 horse for that race, so it's in. And then Stormy Jen is the last leg of this leftover bet. So I put this up last night at 14s, it's 16s in places last night, and now it's only 6-1 on Sky Bet. We backed it last time. It ran when I tipped it up at 40s, 50s in the morning, and it drifted to 66 that day and held, and then went off at 14s. I'm chancing my arm and I'm taking it SP because I don't like 6-1. I do really like the horse, and they've put Colin Keane on it too, and which is always a good sign because he's such a decent jockey in Ireland. So yeah, so I haven't done any, like I had at one point I had a few, like a multiple cross bet with different races, and I've cut it all out, and yeah, this is where I've set it on. So main 2 bets, leftover bet, that's what we're calling it. It's not a bad bet, but it's a leftover bet. So 20p each way Trixie, so that's each way doubles and trebles, and then I got 2 35p each way singles on New Dayrell and Pockley. So that is the extent of bet 3. I am curious as well, if anyone can let me know, if you're placing bet 1, particularly bet 1 with Sky Bet, whether you have any issues placing the bet. Because as far as I'm aware, I don't have any restrictions on the Sky Bet account I use for channel, but I am keeping an eye because I'm conscious that that we had a particularly good week last week and we had a decent enough win. I don't think the account should be in a place, and the way that I'm doing the bets, it shouldn't be at risk of restriction yet, but it wouldn't let me put a lucky 15 bet on those horses, and I'm not quite sure why. So I've had to I've placed the bet, but the way I've done it for the channel bets, I've actually done it as a Yankee and then singles. It let me do that. It wouldn't let me do a lucky 15. So I'm not quite sure why, what it was about that. Because I've had no issue with the other bets. And then even with the double, I've done a 35p each way double. The maximum it would have let me do with that double is 65p. So I haven't been notified of any restrictions, and so I don't know if it's just the races or there is something starting to go with my account, because I'm kind of expecting it's inevitability doing this channel. The account I'm using will get restricted at some point, but I felt like I wasn't near to that yet, because it is a ball ache trying to get another Sky account. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let me know if you have any issues placing it with Sky Bet, because I'm curious to know whether it is just my account or not. But it just seemed weird. I literally was restricted to no. I couldn't do a lucky 15 on those 4 selections. I could do other bits, so it's weird it let me do a Yankee in singles. Anyway, let me know how you get on. Okay, that is me for the day. I'll be back in the morning as normal between 10 and 11. As I say, it's not looking anything special at all tomorrow. Tonight is better than tomorrow. Like literally tonight is better than the whole of tomorrow, I would say. There's quite a few meetings tomorrow, but it's nothing at the moment I'm getting excited about. All right, I'm leaving it there. Oh, golf. I was going to mention golf. Sorry, I mentioned golf. Yeah, so the golf bets, if you put them on, you'll have seen I've done the normal lucky 15, which was kind of middle of the road, but I did split one leg of it. And then I've done some cross tournament stuff, but I've gone quite small in the market. I didn't like anything bigger in the market, so I'm playing for players to kind of come out on top of the market. So just checking. Kazoo Open, Shinkwin was up in the lead at 1.5 under, and then the last 3 holes he hit a double bogey and a bogey, so that's not so good, but he's still tied 4th. And then Bryce Easton's finished, and he was doing all right, and then he hit 2 double bogeys on the back 9, so he's dropped back. But actually, when the last time I looked, he was the 2nd best South African, albeit 4 South Africans hadn't teed off. And then in the Wyndham, they're really only just getting going, and so far none of our players who have started have made a hash of it. Anyway, that's it. I'll leave it there. Back in the morning. See you then, and I'll update on Saturday about when I'm going to do videos next week. Thank you very much, particularly for anyone who's come back, because a couple of days away, you know, who knows where you could have been and gone, and who you'd been mixing with. And so if you've come back, welcome back. That's lovely. Oh, there was something else I was going to say. Really, really importantly, before I wrap up, because this video is long, but I haven't been on for a couple of days, so you know, I'm sure some of you weirdly might have missed me. So I haven't done the video for 2 days. I also haven't placed a bet for 2 days, and I would just recommend to people. I know for most of you it is a hobby what you're doing, but sometimes it's useful just to check yourself. Are you still able to do that? Because you might not be betting millions of pounds, some of you. You know, there are clearly people out there with challenges, with kind of discipline. And, you know, if that's you, I might be talking to you, so stop and have a think about what you're doing. But if you are just, you know, hobby gambling, even if you are doing it and you're doing it small stakes, it's sometimes useful to look at a day and think, that's a quiet day, I'm not having a bet today, I'm going to focus elsewhere, and just make sure you can do it. So I've looked at the results the last couple of days, and it didn't look at anything special, but I've consciously had no bet full stop Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm able to not have a bet, and that be okay. And you know, that's 2 days where I'm missing out on trying to make some money and make a living, but you know, you got days off. But just check yourself. Can you do that on the quiet days? Are you able to do it? Because there'll be a few days in the summer, particularly if it stays warm, the ground's going to stay hard, and some of the field sizes are going to go lower and lower. So there's some opportunity days definitely in the summer, in the midweek, to do that. But just make sure you can do it, because it's a healthy thing to know that you can stop, even if you're just betting small stakes. That was the last thing I was going to say. Right, I will end it there, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Cheerio.